Good evening, everyone. If you don't know, you should know. My name is Rameez and I am a filmmaker and a film critic. And wow, what a fantastic film. Today's film is The Revenant.
I ain't afraid to die anymore. I've done it already.
Nowadays, it seems like the word epic is thrown around a lot. An epic film to today's audience is basically just a film which is of big budgets and contains tons of explosions. An epic film could be considered to be a Michael Bay film. The Avengers could be considered an epic film, which is completely wrong. An epic film is not just those parameters. An epic film is a film which includes long character arcs and beautiful landscapes and extremely great cinematography. To name a few things, The Revenant fits all of those things. The Revenant is one of the best films of the year. This film reminds me a lot of one of my favorite films of all time, Lawrence of Arabia. It is unafraid to take our protagonist into solitude and stick with him in all these long drawn-out moments, but those long drawn-out moments are building blocks of character. Now for my problems with The Revenant, and trust me, there are very few of those. The casting. There's this narrative around Leonardo DiCaprio on the internet, especially amongst the 9gag community, that somehow he is the only actor who has never won an Oscar, is the most deserving actor to win an Oscar. His work after The Departed, to me, has been rather flimsy and unmemorable. His best work so far was in The Aviator in 2004, and I will take that fact to my grave that he should have won the Oscar over Adrien Brody in 2004. But everything after that has been pretty meh. Now let me just say this, Leonardo DiCaprio is not a bad actor by any means, but he is a much better physical actor than he is when it involves him speaking. Luckily for this movie, he barely speaks in this film, and it showcases his physical performance, which is really awesome. However, I do wish that Tom Hardy, who plays the antagonist of this film, and Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays the protagonist of this film, had switched characters. I yearn to see Leonardo DiCaprio play a bad guy in a film, and I think he would make an excellent James Bond villain as well. And speaking of Tom Hardy, this man is on a roll. He can act in his sleep. He plays Fitzgerald, the Mr. Blonde character of this film, ruthless but very unstable. He kills Leonardo DiCaprio's son, Hawk, I believe his name is, and leaves him for dead after DiCaprio gets attacked by a grizzly bear. Yes, a grizzly bear attacks Leonardo DiCaprio, and that scene is absolutely unbelievable to watch. The sheer violence in that scene and the sight of Leonardo DiCaprio being ragdolled is quite a shock to see, and it's quite unbelievable as well. And if you thought that was violent, you're completely wrong, because this film starts off with a massive war or battle scene in the very beginning. This battle is so friggin' crazy and violent that I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is on the same level as the opening of Saving Private Ryan, the D-Day charge. Yes, I just said that. It is that good, man. When I was watching The Revenant, I was like, holy crap, Innaritu's really going for it, throwing his big guns in the beginning, but you find out that was just his little gun. The bear attack is the tour de force of this film. Best scene by far of this film. Speaking of D-Day, when I was watching Leonardo DiCaprio's performance, I had recasted him by another D-Day, Daniel Day-Lewis. I wonder if he was even contacted for this film, as this film kind of fits his choice of roles. The cinematography, this film is shot by Emmanuel Lubezki, who won an Oscar for his work on the overrated Gravity and Birdman last year. Gravity got the awards for VFX. It's completely understandable, but please keep cinematography out of it, because if it weren't for the VFX, Gravity would look like this. The VFX were more detrimental to that story, not the cinematography in my opinion. And Birdman, the whole shtick with the one shot, it does fit the story, but it did come off as super pretentious in Birdman. However, The Revenant, none of those excuses. I'm not going to make any of those excuses, as this film is absolutely beautiful. The work Lubezki puts into this film is possibly his greatest work yet, and I love how he shot this film to make the world look as important as the characters. There are a couple of shots in this film where the camera is just traveling into the landscapes, and then a few seconds later, 30 seconds later, a character enters. It gives the world a sense of belonging, and it shows that this story is bigger than just our characters. And fun fact, this film was shot completely with natural light. Just me knowing that fact makes the cinematography of this film that much more impressive. If Emmanuel Lubezki does win an Oscar, this year, I think he will have truly deserved it as opposed to Gravity and Birdman. But my frontrunner is still Roger Deakins for Sicario. Look for this film to get nominations in the Best Director category, the Best Cinematography category, the Best VFX category. That bear attack is simply stunning. I cannot wait to see the VFX breakdown of this film, and the Best Supporting Actor and Best Actor categories. Yes, this is another one of those above-average performances by Leonardo DiCaprio that will somehow garner him an Oscar nomination, just like The Wolf of Wall Street did. Yeah, because The Wolf of Wall Street's performance by DiCaprio was clearly better than Tom Hanks in Captain Phillips. I must say though, and I'm gonna cut him some slack, not that he cares, he might not be as great as the internet proclaims him to be, but this is his second best work since his best work in 2004, The Aviator. It is a really good performance by Leonardo DiCaprio, and I wouldn't mind it if he actually got a nomination this time around, as he truly deserves it. The Revenant gets a 4.5 out of 5. This is a film for the ages. It does lag quite a bit in the second act, but its insistence to do something like that, to use that lagging, slow pace to build characters, something you don't see nowadays. This film reminds me a lot of David Lean's work, especially Lawrence of Arabia, and any film that reminds me of David Lean's work is a really, really special film. The direction is similar to David Lean's films, and it has some blistering performances by Tom Hardy and Leonardo DiCaprio. This is one of my favorite films of the year, and you should definitely go see The Revenant as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching this video, people. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and share this video, all on the internet. And thank you for watching, as I will see you again soon.